Thank you so much. And you might see friends handing out stewardship envelopes. If you have not received yours, we've got a whole bunch of them over there. We gave them to the folks who we knew were here. But I'm turning it over to Reverend Eileen.
Coffee hour, just a couple minutes, I promise less than 5, of stewardship for all ages. As someone who turns the radio off during the NPR pledge drive, because I would rather listen to my own thoughts. I will keep this short and easy, I promise you. But if you'd like to come forward, if you're a small person or a big person or any person in between, this is your last chance to come on up now if your feet are not too tired. And I do have some questions for you. If you're a big person, if you're an adult, you may have gotten some stewardship materials handed to you. And if you haven't gotten any, by the time this service is really over, then I invite you to grab some from our stewardship team members. If you're a stewardship team member, will you raise a hand in the air so people know where to look? Okay, we will get you those materials if you didn't get any. Anne's over there with a box of them right there. But if you're a small person, or even if you're a big grown-up person, you might be wondering, what is a stewardship drive anyway? And I have some questions for you. So I'm so happy that Charlotte and Emmerich are the two folks who are up here, because I see you almost every Sunday that you're here helping take the offering. Do you do that, right? Yeah, where you pass the baskets? What do people put in the baskets? Money. People put money in the baskets. And do you ever think about, what do we do with that money? You have thought about it? What do you think we do with it, Emmerich? Yeah, like maybe give it to people who need it. And once a month, we do exactly that. We share the offering that we take with an organization that's helping people to get what they need. And then some of the work that we do here in the church helps people to get what they need. But 3 Sundays a month and all of the giving that people do during stewardship time, that money goes into the church's budget. And what do you think a church needs money for? What do you think, Emmerich? Help pay for the property. That's true. Sometimes our building costs us some money to keep it looking the way it looks and functioning the way it functions. It takes money to keep the lights on and put toilet paper in the bathrooms. Any other thoughts? What do we need money for? Catherine? To pay the professionals that work here? That's a big chunk of what we spend our money on as a church. What else do you think we're using it for? Coffee. We're buying coffee with it, and we're about to go drink some. What, Tom? The bill. We're paying the bills? Not the Buffalo Bills. Where they've got enough money. We share some of it with the Unitarian Universalist Association, which is the association of all the congregations like us, and we pay our dues to be part of that association. And most of the money that we use to run this church, to keep the lights on and put toilet paper in the bathrooms and have coffee and have staff that work here, comes from pledges. And so I have another question. You maybe see it coming. What is a pledge? And this is something that I bet not every grown-up here knows, because some of them are new, and some of them maybe have never done a pledge before. MJ, what's a pledge? Do you know? A pledge is a promise. I like that language. A pledge is a promise. It tells us, I'm going to give this much money to the church over the next year. And it's a light promise. Clinton's going to call it a plan. More of a plan than a promise, because sometimes we have to change our plans, and that feels easier to do than changing a promise. But a pledge is a plan that tells us, I plan on giving this much money to the church for the next year so that the church can keep doing things like buying toilet paper and keeping its lights on and heating it up when it's cold and paying for the people who work here. And a plan that we find out from other folks, from the folks who are here in our pews, helps us plan for what are we going to do for the next year? How many staff can we have? What kind of programs can we run? It helps us to plan. And the plan that we've been using for the last few years to keep doing that plan, to keep doing what we've been doing, the way we've been doing it, it takes a pledge of about $2,600 per household, per family, to do that. And an average pledge of that much. And that might seem like a big amount of money. I saw some eyes go, Yeah, that might seem like a big amount of money for some of us. But luckily, the church is not like a store where you go in and you have to pay for exactly what you got, right? So if you went to 32 Sundays a year and you drank 5 cups of coffee, and we don't give you a bill for all of that at the end of the year and say, here's what you use. You sat with the minister for 2.5 hours and you went to choir 6 times and then you quit. We don't give you a bill like that. That would be silly. And also, a church is not like a club like the YMCA, where everybody pays the same amount, which is what it costs to run the thing, to go ahead and come. A church is a place where it's more like a forest, where everybody has different needs, and everybody has different gifts, and the goal is that everyone grows and thrives together. So even though $2,600 sounds like a lot to some of us, it sounds like a little bit to others. It sounds just fine to a few. Some people can only give a small part of that average. Our smallest pledge is $20 a year. And some people can give much, much more. Our biggest pledge is $16,000 a year. And stewardship, this thing we're doing for the next several weeks, is about trusting that everyone will give what feels right to them without hurting their own family and their own household budget, and that together we will be enough and we will have enough. So I have one last question about church and money, because we're asking the grown-ups who are here today to make a pledge to the church. And we're talking about our hope for the future. So especially for Emmerich and Charlotte and any kids who are out there, I have a question about if we raised more money than we need to run the church as it is, what would you dream of doing with it? What do you hope for that you think might cost some dollars? What do you give it to the kids? I mean, not a bad idea. What about grown-ups? What do you dream of? More cake? Okay, I'm hearing cake. An elevator that's reliable and works all the time. Yeah, Michael. To keep Justin. Yeah, whose salary is not in our budget right now because it's coming out of a separate account. Like rolling that into the budget, I think, is what Michael is talking about. Sustain our music. Yeah. Dream big with me. Another couple big ones. What do you dream of? Expand our social justice. Is that what I heard, Richard? Yeah. Make more of our building accessible to everybody. Put the porta potty back up. Yeah, and I would dream even bigger than that. Let's make 24-hour bathrooms downtown happen. Yeah. Any other one or two last big dreams? New programs for kids. I love it. And then Emmerich, last one. What are you dreaming of? More leprechauns. I said dream big. I said dream big, and we did. And this, my friends, is actually the end of our service. I invite you to give as generously as your heart calls you to do this year, and to join us in coffee hour right now through either of these doors behind us.